We're live here at Job Boards Connect in the UK, in London. We're having a wonderful time. We are Rightsy. We are conducting executive interviews where we interview C-suites and executives of online recruitment marketplaces so that we can share their stories, their insights, and what's going on at their companies. And today we have an amazing guest, Mr. Lauri Koop.
Correct. Hi, guys.
Yes. So thank you for joining.
Glad to join.
Well, first off, congratulations. You guys were nominated as top 100 influential CEOs at the TA Tech conference a couple months ago. So that's pretty awesome.
I would say proud moment. Thank you for the vote of confidence. And it's also kind of the shows that we're rocking the boat in the right places and kind of trying to really advance the industry. Good place to be and lots still to be done.
100%, absolutely. So tell everybody, who you are, what do you do, and what company you're with.
Hi, my name is Lauri Koop. I'm CEO of Aimwell. And actually, the problem we're solving is that if the job boards have, let's say, 100,000 jobs, of course, some of them are performing well, some of them less well. And we help actually to drive performance for every single job of that 100,000. And you can imagine there's a super kind of a huge difference between a data scientist or a pro, like let's say the truck driver or logistics person. And for every single individual job of the 100,000, we create a micro campaign across multiple media channels, social, niche sites, display, retargeting. And we can kind of see what performs, what doesn't perform, and try results applies for that single job.
Really?
End of the day, you look like I have 100,000 jobs. For every single job, you can look, okay, this job got applies from the social media, Instagram. This guy got the applies from different source. And if you do this at super granular level, you can actually see that your performance of those applies goes boom up. But other thing which happens is also you notice that actually you start investing less in your marketing budget. So as average, our clients, I would say, save anywhere between 10 and 40% in their cost per apply. So basically,
nice.
for the same buck, you actually get much more bang.
And you're actually driving the people directly to the places in which people are using the most. So you're eliminating the places that they're not coming from and making sure that their ad spend is properly spent in the right places.
I would say kind of we are super granular to make sure that ad spend for every job is well identified. Where should be spending that money, how much we're spending that money, and when should we be spending that money actually. Making sure that kind of for every single job we drive that, I would say, ideal performance.
Nice, nice.
Data scientist or logistics person.
So do you have a background? Are you with logistics, data science? What's your background?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's say at home, when my wife tells me I move boxes. When I was younger, I actually learned coding, so I can write bad code. But so it basically means I understand the system very well, but I have a huge team of data people. I would say 70% of my staff, actually team members, have a title data something.
Okay.
Making sure that we kind of, for every single job, we can use data points to identify what is the right place, what is the right way, and how should the ad look like to make sure that actually the active and passive job seekers would say, yeah, this is for me.
Have you been in the online recruitment space since you started your career, or did you transition into it? How long you been in it?
Actually, I've been in and out since 2000, I would say, 5, when I actually started joining Monster. So I was in the leadership team of Monster Europe. Then I moved to Axel Springer and now the TPG Media, which is the owner of Aimwell.
Did you work with Rob from Job Rapido when he was at Monster, or different times?
Well, let's say Rob hired me just to dump me day after because he hired me in the Netherlands, and day after he moved to UK to run the UK business. So I know Rob for extended time.
Nice, nice, nice. Re-interviewed Rob at the TA Tech in Austin.
Awesome.
Yes.
Let's say
Actually, no, RecBuzz.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So that's awesome. Okay, so you were in the beginning days, in those Monster days. What's been different from back then till now? Like, have you seen the evolution of the recruitment marketplace change for the good, for the bad? What do you say?
Oh, huge. I would say kind of the early days were shoot all, shotgun.
Right.
Give you a few examples. Like Monster used to have a Super Bowl ad, which was driving a lot of traffic.
Sure.
It's awesome for your traffic, but let's say if you look at the kind of your job board, you have the campaign, and then what you get is more what you already have. And what you really need, you don't really move the needle maybe in the magnitude you want.
Good
So
point.
let's say if you have a lot of salespeople already in your database, that Super Bowl ad brings you more salespeople. If you have already a lot of marketing people in your database, you probably with that Super Bowl ad, you get more of them.
Okay.
Data scientists, not really you don't move the needle with the Super Bowl ad, a little bit.
How do you move the needle?
So basically, that's what is nowadays. It's Super Bowl ad is way too expensive, I would say, because
What's
it's
it, like
not.
2-3 million bucks?
I think that's kind of the starting price.
Yeah.
You need to be super granular. You're saying, okay, data scientists, where are they? Which place they go? How they behave? Which media channels to invest? And of course, if you look at the US, you probably pay a very different price for data scientists in mid US versus in Washington. Same across cities in UK or continental Europe. So I would say kind of from that, we shoot and we have a volume. It will like, no, we have a sharp shooting and we kind of need to be way more intelligent where to kind of how to interact with that talent.
Speaking of that, how do online recruitment marketplaces become more intelligent? How do they have special offerings for their customers so that they can stand out?
Ooh, that is super good. I would say kind of first is maybe wrong, not ideal comparison, but it's like with anonymous alcoholics.
Okay.
You first have to acknowledge I have a problem.
Okay, right.
Because we talk with a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 clients. So let's say guys who make more than 100 million,
Sure.
guys who make maybe up to 20, 30 million, and less than 1 million guys. Quite often, the kind of the tier 2 and tier 1s, they really understand that they need to transform.
Okay.
So basically, and going from that kind of what I mentioned, the shotgun approach to really granular, how do you bring the applicants in and how actually monetize this? Because industry, especially in Europe, is still very much has a, let's call it socialist approach.
Okay.
Like every job has the same price. But of course,
Good point.
logistics person versus the data scientist person has a very different price point for acquiring the talent and also the value for the company. So kind of you need to really go super granular saying, I need to find those applicants with certain price points, which is acceptable for, let's say, Amazon for logistics. And I need to kind of acquire them on very different price point and very different strategy for data scientists and sell also those on different price points. A few clients of ours at the Aimwell would actually sold the jobs on the, let's say, socialist. I think all the jobs the same. Just to realize that the marketing acquisition cost for certain jobs is more than actually they're selling this for.
Good point.
So you kind of need to look at, oh, why should I actually serve those clients with this price point if actually I'm losing money on those clients? So it's kind of the marketing and the sales that really need to come be the sleep together, basically, make sure that they bring the same super synergies out.
So Aimwell does a really good job at doing this, yes?
This is our core business, saying, okay, if you have 100,000 jobs, for every single job, we need to be able to say, this is the way to find the applicants in the best way. And this is the cost, and this is the kind of the strategy behind that one. And of course, you're not going to do 100,000 campaigns manually, so to automate the hell out of it. If you know that for every single job, this is what it takes to apply to reach applicants, then actually your commercial team also knows way better actually how to sell it. And you can fill also the gaps. If commercial team says, we are not delivering enough, let's say, data scientists, then marketing team knows very well actually to which buttons to turn to actually kind of ramp that up.
And Aimwell's been around for how long?
Well, we started with our product in 2019. So we've been building actually our platform since 2019.
So very short, actually.
Correct, but we carved this out from a kind of as a separate company only last summer because we have been kind of building this product and we said, okay, it works for us. It works for a few external clients as well. We should kind of give 100% focus. And as I said, we have 100% focused on serving the job boards. So kind of we have been doing this actually 4 years, but a separate company, special carve out since last summer.
And would you say that the pandemic played a role in your growth?
Ooh, difficult to say actually. I would say,
Because some people it turned the gas on for them, right? Some people it hurt them, right? How did it affect Aimwell?
let's say during the pandemic, we had a lot of disruption. Everybody were kind of first going in panic, thinking we have a sinking ship. However, the economy was holding pretty steady, so the demand side was high, meaning also clients were able to exit and to invest.
Sure.
On the other front, actually, we see also the market is, let's say, cool down mode. But then actually, we have another kind of a pressure for our clients, which they like, ooh, for the same money, I need to actually have a much more kind of impact. So they're coming to us as well, talking like, oh, we need to change also now because otherwise we are not in a good position.
So, you know, a lot of companies, online recruitment marketplaces, focus so much on the companies that are doing the hiring and don't really focus too much on the candidate, right? At RightSeed, we always like to say, increase your candidate experience, right? Care about your candidates. What are some things that online recruitment marketplaces can do to increase the overall candidate experience?
I think your question is spot on because quoting the founder of what's the Monster, Jeff Taylor, he basically said, if you have the candidate, you have the employer.
Right.
And that was kind of his mantra, actually, how he built kind of the business and making sure that he builds the biggest reach for the candidates, knowing that when it goes to the, let's say, the hiring people, they have a perfect product, meaning applicant to sell. That is quite often forgotten actually as well, like a kind of the candidate experience, especially if the market is kind of a employer's market. They know that they can kind of be, I would say, kind of a ignorant towards the applicant experience.
Less focused.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. But let's say if you need to advertise and spend money on that one, and let's say if your candidate acquisition cost is twice as high because you just don't do it well, it is going to hurt you.
That's a good point.
So I would say any company who wants to hire has to actually think like, how are you good with the candidates? And let's face it, the candidate experience is not only for this job, but also for the kind of the other candidates who ask like, how was your experience with the company X? And they tell like it was like a nightmare. You can imagine that your overall recruitment goes down. Concrete answer to your question is it starts with the quality content.
Great point.
Let's face it, the recruiters write loads of job ads. Some of them are professionally written, some of them are clear, some of them they are less clear. Let's put it mildly.
Don't put the salaries in there. Don't put key information in there.
Exactly, and that can have like a easily 50% kind of performance, meaning what you need to invest impact. And of course, if you're going to go more further, like a social media sites, which we do, of course, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you have a kind of images creatives which look off, then there's again a slim chance that actually you get in the candidates motion you want. And then if you go more like what is hot topic now is diversity and inclusion.
Sure, DEI.
If you show only like white males in your social media campaigns, then you can be pretty sure that you have less female applicants actually feeling relevant.
100%.
Kind of like, do I want to apply? And then even if you grab the attention, the next question is like, in apply flows, actually, is this a nightmare or is it kind of smooth experience? Reality is like ATS systems have a reputation of applicant flows being quite nightmarish in too frequent cases.
Sure. I mean, it's tough to balance, right? Because you got technology that helps get more applicants to the recruiters faster. One click applies, things like this. And this is good for that side of it. But what ends up happening is you drown out all these applicants. And so you get thousands of applicants. How many of these people don't even really care about the job? They're just applying fast, right? So it's really about a balance and trying to find that right balance between qualitative and quantitative, right? Would you agree?
I would say quality becomes way more important topic, and especially also kind of for job boards, which quite often have been working like I drive volume of applicants,
Right.
with having insufficient insights on like what is the quality of those applicants who are being driven there.
Exactly.
If you make it kind of too easy, too sloppy, you drive a lot of traffic, which actually drives the recruiter crazy on the other end because they're saying
It's too much.
it's not too, it's too much, but it's also too much off.
Right. Right. It's far from what they really need.
Which means basically you have a very good point, like you need to have super good matching and saying, okay, you target them well, you bring the right ones in well, and you kind of have a very clear filtering as well, saying, okay, those guys shouldn't be part of this journey.
Great point. Great point. So, like, who's the ideal customer for Aimwell?
I would say for us, we are purely focused on job boards who have high volume of jobs.
Okay.
And they have kind of a challenge saying, okay, what usually happens for job boards is like 20% of the jobs get 80% of the applies.
Right.
And then you have this 80% of the jobs which actually are not getting the applies they should. So the ideal situation is Apple posts the jobs in cool place and it gets loads of applies. Great. But then you have a lot of SMEs, unknown brands which kind of also want to hire. How you can actually find and steer performance for, let's say, known brands,
Sure.
where you don't need to spend money, and where you actually understand for which job you need to invest how much, in which way. So what Aimwell does, basically, we help job boards to run their full marketing automation.
Okay.
So that they can drive applicants for every single job with a certain performance target and make sure that kind of they can get the maximum impact out of their market investment. On one side, doing this well allows the commercial teams to kind of make sure that we can sell this at the right price point. If it's performance-based pricing, difficult to fill jobs, all those things the monetization of your reach becomes much more kind of tangible because you have way more controls.
Yeah. Did you move into a performance-based model, or have you always been that?
I would say kind of we power for our clients performance-based model. So we're saying, guys, whichever way you want to actually monetize the kind of the reach you have and the applicants you deliver for clients, if you do this on the duration-based, performance-based, kind of the special campaign approach,
Right.
we power all of that one. And it's for you up to kind of decide what fits with your business strategy. And I would say all those models I just described are usually relevant because different clients want to buy different stuff.
Exactly.
You can go to SME and say, I have a performance-based, fine-tuned solution. And they look at you like, how does this work? While they think,
Deer in a headlight?
I just need a simple solution and I want my accountant in 4 weeks to be hired. And then we have staffing companies like Manpower, so it's like, I need to have kind of most control and
Makes
performance
sense.
over how to run it.
Sure, sure. Well, let's get you some business. You know, for those of you that are out there, make sure you guys go to aimwell.com, check them out. It's aimwell.com?
Correct. Aimwell.com.
Yep, aimwell.com, and make sure you reach out to them. They really understand what they're doing. They approach it from a very granular perspective, which a lot of companies don't do that. And so thank you for doing this interview with us. Please let the world know, how can they find you? Where can they find your business at? Where can they, follow you online at?
I would say come to aimwell.com, contact us. If you're a job board, you want to kind of boost your performance, we're the guys to talk with. We love job boards.
And can they find you on LinkedIn, Twitter?
Lauri Koop, LinkedIn, definitely there. Twitter, X, not there.
Okay, no problem. How about Instagram? No?
Yes, there as well. But I would say kind of I assume business is mostly LinkedIn.
There it is. There it is.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Koop. Appreciate you having an interview with us and just sharing your wisdom with us.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right.